Hi, I'm going to talk about post-development or ant-development theory. Post-development theory or ant-development theory holds that the whole concept and practice of development is a reflection of Western, Northern, and control over the rest of the world. Western interests guiding its direction and outcome, and so development, its fundamentally reflects the pattern of Western power. Rooted in the influence, the developmental discussion reflects the unequal power relations between the West and the rest of the world, whereby the Western knowledge of development approach toward development and conception of what development entails, as well as perceptions of progress, directs the course of the rest of the world. Post-development theory arose in the 1980s and 1990s. Leading intellectuals and members of the post-development school argue that development was always unjust, never worked, and at this point, this clearly failed. According to Wolfgang Sachs, a leading member of the post-development school, the idea of development stands like a ruined intellectual landscape, and it is time to dismantle this mental structure. To cite an example of this mental structure, development theorists point out how the concept of development has resulted in the hierarchy of development and underdeveloped nations, where the developed nations are seen as more advanced and superior to the underdeveloped nations that are conceived inferior, in need of help from developed nations, and desiring to be like the developed nations. The post-development school of thought points out that the model of development are often ethnocentric, in this case Eurocentric, universalists, and based on Western methods of industrialization that are unsuitable in this world limited resources and ineffective for their ignorance of the local, cultural, and historical context of the people to which they are applied. In development, theorists promote more pluralism in ideas about development. Critique of ethnocentrism and universalism edit among the starting point and basic assumptions of post-development thought is the idea of middle class, Western lifestyle, and all that goes with it, which might include the nuclear family, mass consumption, and living in suburbia and extensive private space, may neither be a realistic nor a desirable goal for the majority of the world's population. In this sense, development is seen as requiring the loss or indeed the deliberate extermination, ethnocide of the indigenous culture of the psychologically and environmentally rich and rewarding modes of life. As a result, formerly satisfactory ways of life become dissatisfying because development changes people's perception of themselves. And post-development thought takes inspiration from vernacular societies, the informal sector, and fungal rather than materialistic lifestyles. Furthermore, post-development theorists advocate for structural changes. According to Escobar, post-developmental thinking believes that the economy must be based around solidarity and reciprocity. Policy must focus on direct democracy and knowledge. Systems should be traditional or at least a hybrid of modern and traditional knowledge. Thank you.